was, hey, I would like to have less complexity. I would like to have my system running more quickly, easy to manage. Look, that is absolutely a trend, particularly, I would tell you, for running the traditional data center applications. I think those teams are under huge cost pressures. And so, look, I think there is a phenomenal market there for something like a VXRack. But the kind of workload that runs on there is going to be dependent on the service level characteristics of the application. You know, if you're wanting to get the, whatever, 6 nines, 7 nines, you know, the ultimate in terms of resiliency. I mean, we get a lot of customers, particularly in banking, that need synchronous replication between sites. I'm telling you, they ain't running VXRack, right? We've got a couple of big SaaS companies that run on our arrays. And as much as they love the idea of software-defined on commodity, they can't consume it because the nature of their application is such that it can't deliver the level of service that they would require. So, you know, again, the answer to the question quite directly is it may cannibalize VBlock. My belief, though, is if we didn't build VXRack, if we didn't cannibalize it, then somebody else might. And so we'd rather roll the dice on that first. And the thing I love about what the VCE guys and Praveen are doing is, actually a lot of this sausage making that we love, he doesn't get into with the customer. He's like, hey, Mr. Customer, what are you trying to do? All right, you need a VXRack. The sausage making is done back at the factory, and what shows up is a system that will run the workload. And this is why we see, when we sell our storage inside of a converged infrastructure, believe it or not, we actually get better margins than if we sell it outside. I mean, that's completely counterintuitive, but I think the reason is the customer sees the value of the solution, and so we don't have to debate with vendor X, Y, and Z, you know, the individual, you know, dollars per gigabyte IOPS and latencies of the individual piece parts. Gents?
I would have one more thing. So, you know, I look at some of the great products Guy has, whether it's XtremIO, VMax, and others, for VBlock, resiliency, high availability, all of that for tier 1 workloads. And if you look at even the statements made by David and Praveen this morning, for tier 2 workloads, you're trying to consolidate multiple VM farms. You want to make sure you drive down the cost. For those kind of workloads, I think VXRack is perfect. So I mainly see as a very separate design point. They want to start small. Let me consolidate a bunch of tier 2 applications on this system. I may have multiple hypervisor, maybe something I want to run on bare metal. Whereas for our mission critical application, VBlock based on XtremIO or VMax or VNX will still hold true.
That's true, actually. I know with the VBlock, and Guy thought he was going to get a word in there, but I stole it away from him at the last minute. But with the VBlock, people have a killer app in mind. They're like, hey, it's SAP, or, you know, it's Exchange, or it's my, you know, 100,000 user VDI rollout. They've got this one, like, blue ribbon application that they're looking for this thing to deploy. You tend to find with the VXRack, it's the sprawl. Like, hey, can I take that sprawl and just put it on a much more homogeneous, more cost-effective infrastructure? I think that's going to be, if you like, maybe the delineation between the two. Nothing less for you.